Hi everyone, good morning. It's Margaret Manning here. Welcome to 60 and Me. Welcome to a new day. Hope you're doing great this morning. Hope you're feeling strong and confident and just feeling good about life. I'm very conscious these days that life is pretty stressful. We've got a lot of moving parts. It's not that we haven't had to go through this in our past. We've certainly lived through lots of political and difficult situations in the world. But it just seems like right now there's an intensity that is off the chart. And I think part of it is partly because we're so connected these days. I'm able to do these videos and you're able to watch and hear information being delivered, breaking news, things just going on all the time. But the first thing I always do every morning, of course, before I even get out of bed, is to show gratitude for the day, that thank you for letting me wake up to another beautiful day. And also gratitude for you, for our community. I can't tell you really how much it means to me. And I know I get so many wonderful emails from you saying how much you appreciate it and how much it's added to your life. But trust me, it goes all the way around, and all of us appreciate each other. I just think it's so important right now. I just think we need it. We need the support of one another. So first of all, tea. That's my next thing I do. I have a cup of tea. And this one this morning is a really interesting one. It's called 3 Tulsi tea. Now, it's a puka tea, which I love. I love all of their teas, but this one is very interesting. Now, I checked out what Tulsi is, and Tulsi is actually the flower and leaves of the holy basil plant. Now, I don't know whether that is the same as basil that you use in cooking, but it's called holy basil. It's a sacred tea. It's a tea that is used in India and other parts of the world as a sacred tea. This plant, the holy basil, is supposed to have amazing powers and strength. And so I thought, wow, I need that today. I need my 3 Tulsi tea. But what are the 3 Tulsis? So I had a look online, and basically, it's in this tea. There are 3 different tulsis, whether that means 3 different parts of the basil plant or different variations. I don't actually know, but anyway, there's 3. First of all, the green tulsi is to clear clutter. What we all need in our lives: clear the clutter, let go of stuff. The next is purple, which is meant to uplift the spirit. It's a purple tulsi, uplifts the spirit. And then the third one is lemon, which inspires you onward. So this is a tea which is supposed to give you a beam of clarity, a beam of light in your life, a sense of direction and moving forward, and absolute brilliant clarity. So I've got my rainbow mug today. I decided this is the appropriate mug for a cup of 3 Tulsi tea. It's there, and there's it somewhere. And it's really, really lovely. It's the most beautiful tea. I do love the color and the taste. So my Tulsi tea to you. Hope that you're doing well. So let's talk about something today. It'll be a short one today, I think, that I just wanted to cover a book and a lesson by someone that I have a great deal of respect for. And I think you're very familiar with her. But I'd just like to go over the teachings of Brené Brown. Now, Brené Brown is an author. She wrote a book called The Power of Vulnerability, about being vulnerable and how that is a strength. And she actually did a TED talk at TED.com that was so popular. It's Brené, B-R-E-N-E, Brown. Have a listen to it. It's really, really powerful. It's got millions of views. But it's all about, giving women particularly, and older women specifically, an inspiration to embrace life and to take midlife as an opportunity to gather yourself, gather your strength, your courage, and your bravery, and get on with life. There's a really famous theologian. His name was Paul Tillich. I remember reading his book in college, and he wrote a book called The Courage to Be. And it's just like, how you get up every day and you just have the courage to just exist. And despite all the challenges and the things that can happen in your life, you have the courage to go on. And I think that's what Brené Brown is talking about. She writes about vulnerability and about courage and about isolation and belonging, and how it's important that we deal with loneliness and social isolation and just come together to give each other strength. She says that we have a crisis of disconnection in our society. And I actually do agree with her completely. I think that even though it's kind of ironic that we're brought together by all this various social media, I think we at the same time are quite disconnected, and we don't talk to each other anymore. We have lost the art of good conversation. I'm just reading a book on this topic right now by a Tibetan teacher, Sakyong Mipram Rinpoche, and he has written a book called The Art of Good Conversation. And really how that's at the heart of, basically, connecting with each other and giving this power back to the people to create an enlightened society, a kind and good society. So, conversations where we start in those dialogues that we have, in the ways that we connect with one another. So anyway, I think all these things kind of come together. But Brene, talks about really the specifics of how we are afraid of being, not connected, afraid of being accepted, afraid of not being good enough, not being rich enough, not being smart enough, not being strong enough. And how she says, we are enough. You are enough. Now, being brave is hard, especially when you're in this kind of constant full-on fire hose of information that's hitting us all the time. But connecting with others does take courage, and it's partly, accepting our flaws, and then there's a beauty in that. She's written this new book called Braving in the Wilderness, and that kind of says it, doesn't it, really? That sense of being, in this crowd of people, being alone in the wilderness, and how to be brave in that. And also how to just show up as our true self. To show up, number one, to have the courage to get on every day, on with life, and also to show your true self, to not be afraid to, to admit what your priorities are, what's important to you, and to speak up with a loud voice, a clear voice, and a loving voice. So becoming a change maker is her priority. And I really love that sense that, women over 60 in particular, I think, can be really powerful change makers, in that we've lived 6 decades of life. We have seen the world go through all kinds of change. Teachers have come and gone. People have come and gone in our lives. And we've lived through it. We are the lucky ones. And I really think that that's important for us to know that with that, comes a choice. It comes strength, and also a choice to give up or to keep going. So I really think it's an important time of our lives. She wrote in this book, I'm not sure whether this quote is from Braving the Wilderness or from her other book on vulnerability, but I want to read it to you because I think that's how I want to close today. We talk all the time about being strong and being brave and courageous, but it's hard. And we can either, as I said, make a choice to do it or not. And she gives us these words, which absolutely have inspired me and inspired millions of other women. So let me just read it, and then we'll have a little close. But here we go. I have my glasses on, so I can't read without it. All right. Midlife is when the universe grabs you by the shoulders, pulls you close, and tells you, I'm not screwing around. This time that you have left is finite. And it's time to be brave. It's time to take off that armor. It's time to stop living based on what people think of you. That's a very, very serious call at my age. Okay. Not to be heavy, but isn't that amazing? I mean, I think it's where midlife pulls you close and says, I'm not screwing around. Time is short. You've got finite time on this planet. Let's live it. Live it fully. So I'd like to leave you with that thought. And I would love to get your feedback. What do you think about that Brene Brown quote? How did it impact you? Do you agree with it? Do you find it difficult to be brave in this time of life? Or are you excited about the future and ready to have a go? Just have a go. Leave your comments in the section below. Let's have a conversation. Let's hold each other up here, though, because I know there's going to be women writing in the next few minutes who are not there, who are afraid, who are feeling lacking in confidence, who are scared. So let's hold each other up. Let's give lots of hugs, lots of hearts, lots of sharing and liking, and just make each other feel important and valuable, which you are. Okay, so tell us what you think about that quote and how you are, whether you find it difficult to be courageous and brave in these times, and what you're doing to help yourself. I look forward to reading your comments. I look forward to joining in with you. Thank you so much for being here again, and I look forward to seeing you all again really soon. Bye-bye for now.